Hello, my friends. Happy to be back at Eurovision.blog. And today I have a fantastic guest. It's Valeriya. She is an AI expert, founder of AI Made Simple, where I get help in using AI. She does corporate training, public speaking, business consulting, and also educational consulting. Valeriya gives master classes, for example, to create a personal AI assistant, which I really love. And she's also a big fan of AI and AI assistants and whatever you can do with it. Please, Valeriya, introduce yourself. The mic is yours. Thanks, Valeriya.
Thank you. Thank you, Georg. I'm happy to be here. And you already did a pretty good introduction. I'm AI consultant, AI trainer. I've been in AI space for quite some time. So in the past, I was in the analytical consulting. I was doing marketing mix modeling. So working with big data for sales, marketing to predict how companies should allocate their media investment, for example, to get the biggest ROI and obviously to also impact the bottom line. So that's where I got, let's say, exposure to machine learning part of it, but I was always on the consulting side and helping the businesses translate these insights that we gained from the big data into their actions. And I got exposed to generative AI just like everybody else after ChatGPT boomed. And then I started digging deep into it. And I quickly realized that it's not just about the AI generated images, visuals, which are great, and not even about the prompts, but rather about integrating AI into the existing business processes, whether it's automation workflow or assistant or even an agent, or again, just like integrating those Claude conversations, for example, or creating custom GPTs. So everything that more or less helps businesses to be more efficient. I love talking about it, and this is exactly what I'm helping businesses with. I'm working mostly with small businesses and I'm consulting them on how to integrate AI, mostly Gen AI and automation in their processes. Again, to grow, to generate more revenue and to save more time. And I'm also doing trainings for different teams and cooperating with a few organizations. I've been invited to do trainings as well. And that's where I love sharing also my passion for AI.
So I have been in an online stream of you last week. It was really fantastic. I can see your passion with AI and you know about what you're talking. That's really great. And I think it is very important to help the business to show them what is possible with AI, what you can do with it, and what you can't do. So can you tell us a little bit what is
Yeah,
here your
absolutely.
business?
Absolutely. And I think it's a good keyword that you mentioned what you can do, what you can't do, because I guess currently, even if you see on LinkedIn, there is a lot of hype and there are a few, let's say, sometimes extremes. So on one hand, many creators are sharing, 100 tools for that and 100 prompts for that, which does not help. The businesses I talk to, they are overwhelmed. They don't have even time to go and check all these hundreds of tools or those prompts. You cannot even normally reuse them because the prompt has to come from you and your business need, from your business, from your use case with your context. And another extreme is just people sharing those agent templates, those very complex multi-step agent templates or automation templates. And this is also an extreme because again, it's not practical. Typically it's first overwhelms, especially, and it's not practical in a way that you cannot just implement this template and hope that it will work for your business. It won't because your business is different. So this AI or the automation or the agents, they work properly only if they are integrated into the existing processes. So they don't work. You cannot just take something from outside, implement it and hope that your business will change overnight. So this is exactly what you can and cannot do with AI. And sometimes I feel like also there is a lot of hype in a way that now AI can replace everybody. AI can do everything. It's not. So again, it can do many things, especially as mentioned, like AI integrated with automation, but there are also limitations. So it's not replace the whole teams and so on, or do just everything for you on a click. It has to be very well thought out a process, very well thought out and strategic approach where exactly you integrate AI and where you actually keep the human either in the loop or actually on the top. Because we've seen probably also, maybe you've noticed that the LinkedIn algorithm has changed a bit. And we've seen that there is a lot of AI generated content and the content is very generic. You can train AI to use those copywriting frameworks or those write and those conversion style, but then everybody becomes the same and sound the same, and people are tired from it. So in this case, I would say, okay, then don't use AI for copywriting. You can use AI to find ideas, or you can use AI to refine your copy, but use your own ideas, like use your own voice. This is exactly the example where I would not, for example, recommend using AI. So this is just like a few impulses from my side, what I see that's currently happening in the market and what businesses actually need.
I'm currently working on some text, on some news, and it is very easy to let them get written by AI, but the context which AI gets is often completely wrong. It doesn't fit, and the style is so standardized that it is not fun to read the text. So a good copywriter makes the text that it is fun to read. So I think this is also a difference that's good, that humans are needed. What do you think that it is best for business who start using AI? With what should they start?
I would say start with the trainings. I mean, it could be like just to get a hint of AI, but again, trainings, I believe it should not be just, watch one course there and one course there and like very disconnected, but rather like a training, more or less a training program. So there are many out there. For example, for beginners, I really recommend going to AI for Non-Techies from Valeriya, now myself and Pooja Jain. We are launching like 6-week AI revenue accelerator, which is a bit more intermediate, where we show how to use AI to generate copy for lead gen, for sales, for customer onboarding. So specifically oriented to like how to build the foundations of AI for your business, how to choose the right tool, how to measure the ROI. So more strategic program. So it doesn't have to be just like one course, but it has to be more or less like a roadmap so that you have a good understanding at the end. And so first it's a training to get exposure. And again, like not just one-time training, but rather a complete journey, like where you get from A to B. And second, it's a practice, because you can watch as many trainings as you would like, but you will not be an expert and your business will not be impacted by your knowledge. It will only be impacted by you implementing those strategies. And here it goes the same. So just starting with a small steps, let's say you have a ChatGPT subscription or a Claude subscription. What I typically recommend to my clients, all of them have those generic use cases. For example, if we talk about service businesses, they have their ICP, like ideal customer persona, and it's great to use something like Claude to brainstorm what are your ICP's pains and desires and how do they talk and where to find them. And then you can just copy all this information and put it into, for example, a Claude project. And this Claude project, you can set instructions to generate lead magnets or to generate content ideas or to generate maybe email copy, like email campaign copy with this ICP insights and with the insights of your business. So just making like a team of this smaller, I would not call them AI assistants, but like a smaller AI team, which you always can come back to. And this already you will see it's, let's say, the improvement in your day-to-day processes. It will already save you some time. So this is just like starting with the smaller steps and then getting exposed to, for example, workflow automations. Then businesses can start, for example, thinking about, I always have this manual process that I need to copy from A to B, or I have always the customer fills in the form, they get generic email, but maybe I can integrate the GenAI step in this workflow automation. So it looks at the answers from the form and sends a personalized email to the customers. So like very, very like starting from a smaller step and then going and building up on those capabilities. And I think this is what I would typically recommend to the business.
You were talking about workflow automation. Can you give us a little explanation of what is workflow automation, AI agents? That would be great.
Yeah, of course. So when we talk about, let's say, a ChatGPT or a Claude or a Gemini or Grok, Perplexity, those are chatbots. Let's call them chatbots. These are powered by those large language models, but this is something where you would have to prompt it. So you need an answer or you have a specific goal. And then you would go to ChatGPT and then you start writing something. Hey, create me the blog post. Here's my audience description. Here's my business. Here's the goal. Do this, do that. So this is like a typical chatbot. Then the next step, in my opinion, it would be like integrating those. When we talk about AI workflows, let's call it integrating those small steps, for example, those different chatbots to achieve your specific goal. For example, I was talking about recently about creating PowerPoint decks or creating pitch decks with AI. And there, typically you can go to something like Canva or Gamma and create a pitch deck from scratch, but it's not how you would do it as a human, right? First, if you have a specific topic, you would go and do a research. So first you would go for, if you translate it to AI language, you would go, for example, to Perplexity and do a research on your topic. Then you would get a good response from it with the reliable sources. Then you can copy and paste it. And then you would go, for example, to Claude and ask it to create the copy slide by slide. Or first, you also provide a lot of information about your audience, your goals, what you want to achieve with this pitch deck, who are you, what your business does, and then also providing this research. And then Claude can help you create a copy for the slides. And then you can take this copy, and then with this copy, you can go to Gamma or any other app and create the beautiful presentations with visuals and so on. You can also go in the middle to Midjourney and create those visuals by yourself.
Mhm.
But this will be more or less like an AI workflow, where you not just
Okay.
go to and try to use ChatGPT to accomplish everything, but rather try to think strategically. Okay, these are all the different tools that I have to my availability, and how do I achieve the best, let's say, results from using all of them. And then what you asked me is a workflow automation. So there are automations, let's say, that have been there already for 20 years, and probably many know tools like Make.com or Zapier. So these allow you to connect different apps. So as, for example, let's take this example. If somebody fills in the form, your customer, they will
Mhm.
automatically get an email or will be added to a sort of database. So this is the automation, or workflow automation, you call it. Now what we have is AI-powered automation, which means you basically add one AI step in between. So you would say, also I already gave this example, that you don't say, okay, everybody who fills in the form receives a generic email, but rather we would add something like a ChatGPT step in between, which first analyzes the form responses and then actually creates a highly personalized email depending on this form response. So this could be also used for lead generation or for nurturing as well of the customers. So this is the AI-powered automation. And then we go to in the direction of assistants and agents. This is like the next step. I think it's also very hyped now. The whole agent topic, these are more, let's say, intelligent systems, which means that they have memory, they have access to knowledge bases, they have access to different tools. And then you just provide them like a prompt. It is more complex prompt. Most important there is the goal, and also description of what tools they have access to and what exactly should they do in which case to achieve this specific goal. And then the agent decides, depending on the inputs from external inputs or, for example, human inputs, it decides what tool should it use to accomplish this specific goal. And again, it can also remember those different steps and then also self-improve, let's say, with time. So these are the agents.
That's really. And you were talking about the different LLMs. Is it useful, ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini, or can you only use?
Yeah, great question. I would say it is useful to use a few. And I personally, I have a big issue with jumping from one to another. I used to jump from one paid subscription to another because with so many new features, almost like now on a weekly level, there is a new model, there is a new capability, there is something different. But now I pay, I think, for 3 of that. So what I'm using most often is ChatGPT, Claude, and Perplexity. I also have a pro plan there, and there are differences between those. So ChatGPT is like, you can do almost everything with it. More or less, you can analyze the data and visualize the data. You can do those custom GPTs with it. You can talk to it. You can just simply open it and talk to it, or even share the screen it's something that you do and ask questions. So it's the best for this multimodal. Okay, it can do the chatbot that can do anything and everything. I would go to Claude for marketing related or copywriting related use cases. And you probably heard that Claude is more like human sounding one. And I find if I provide a lot of context first, for example, again, about like my customers, my business, what I want to do, then it gives me really good replies in terms of, for example, a landing page copy for workshop or a course outline or something similar or a training outline even. So this is where I would go to Claude. Perplexity, as mentioned, it's typically research use cases, just looking for also for some trends or for, again, like a report or a summary on the topic that I want. So especially you've probably heard also about deep research. It's available in Perplexity, also now in ChatGPT and in Gemini. I still need to test it thoroughly, which ones are better for what, but more or less, I believe you can use any of them with more or less the same accuracy. But of course, if people are using already Google Workspace, businesses are using Google Workspace, many of them do, then it makes sense to also utilize like the power of Gemini, right? And Gemini, meaning that, for example, Gemini in the emails to also just draft their email replies faster, or the power of Gemini in Google Sheets or in Google Docs, and so on. So it's also a great option. And what do we have else? Microsoft Copilot, I believe it's more of an enterprise use case because usually organizations who have a Microsoft licenses, they would now be exploring Copilot, which is also absolutely great if you have this Microsoft system. Otherwise, I don't see a big value add of Copilot if you're not a Microsoft user. But yeah, so I would say it depends first on the personal preferences. Second, on your existing tech stack. Again, if you're a Google Workspace user, then it makes more sense to use Gemini within those apps. If you're a Microsoft user, it makes more sense to use Copilot within those apps. And for standalone chatbots, again, there are specific things where each of them is a bit better than the other.
Wow, that's really very good and deep research. Thanks a lot. Will help for sure a lot of people. Valeriya, AI gives a lot of possibilities. Do you have an example where AI can help a small business if they implement AI that they become faster or more efficient?
Yeah, absolutely. There are many examples. I just this week, this Monday, I published a sort of an AI ROI, AI profit calculator, which I did with it's like a custom GPT, and behind it's the relevance AI tool that calculates those figures, and then it would ask you, hey, what industry is your business in, and how many hours per week do you spend on these different tasks that can be automated, like admin, sales admin, or content creation, research. So these types of things. And what's your dollar value per hour? And what are the implementation costs of AI? And then it would take all this information and would calculate neatly, like how much return do you have on the, or would you have if you would implement the AI initiatives that would actually help you save all those hours? And it's one aspect. The second aspect is what revenue growth can you expect from implementing AI in your business, in your specific use case? And yeah, a great question. So I'm working with small businesses, and there are many use cases. Some of them, and this is where we typically start, or actually when I start working, we would look holistically at the processes that they have in, for example, in different areas, let's say marketing processes, or if we combine like a sales process, because at the end, business don't do marketing just to do marketing, they do it to convert sales. So if we talk about lead generation, let's say everything belongs to lead generation, like content or cold outreach or ads. And then we would go to the funnel and to the actual sales until somebody is converted. So we're looking at the whole process holistically, and we try to identify the process bottlenecks, which means, okay, where is it? Is it currently very inefficient, or where it's too repetitive but can be automated, or where AI can actually add value? And then we would do a sort of like impact effort matrix where we would see, okay, which of these bottlenecks, process bottlenecks that we would identify have the highest impact and maybe lowest effort. So these would be like low-hanging fruits to start with. And then, of course, these will have high effort and high impact. We still have to address, but this will be like a longer-term projects. And yeah, as mentioned, typically just by fixing something like in a sales process, something like a lead enrichment or a lead nurturing, because lead enrichment, then if you have a huge database already of these leads, you cannot really segment them and do the personalized nurturing unless you first enrich them, for example. Then you will be able to segment and score them and do the personalized nurturing, which would lead to higher conversion rates. So this is one of the examples where AI or this smartly implemented AI automation can impact already the bottom line almost immediately after the process is implemented. But there are also many different use cases, how you can also simpler ones, how you can just save easily a few hours a day or a week on automating like sales admin tasks. And this is, I believe, this webinar that you visited was all about it. Like, how can you automate the, for example, sales call preparation, those briefing, or how can you automate the proposal creation with AI or follow-ups? So these are all types of things that every business owner needs to do, and that would take a few hours a week, depending on the number of clients and leads, can take up to 10 or even 15 hours a week. And many of those things can be automated if needed, of course, with the human in the loop. So you don't just send out emails or proposals without reviewing them, but AI can be really good at already preparing those different things for you. Yeah. So as mentioned, there are many use cases. Like, you'll just have to prioritize where to start. And in my projects, we typically do both. We would look at high impact use cases, and would try to implement first low effort ones to see already quick wins, because it's important also for businesses to be able to see, okay, it works immediately. I don't have to spend this hour on creating this proposal because AI already pre-drafted it for me. And then also, of course, those high impact, high effort that takes a bit longer time to implement, but that will actually impact also the bottom line.
What is the address where the people can apply for such a masterclass or training?
Yeah, a great question. So I'm doing the training. I don't do them on a regular basis, but you can just follow me on LinkedIn to see. And as mentioned, we are launching, it will be in mid-May, until end of June, 6-week AI revenue accelerator, where we will talk exactly about, every week will be a specific topic, starting from foundations, again, how to build your AI roadmap, which tool to choose, how to calculate ROI, what to pay attention to in terms of data privacy and responsible AI integration. So I'm in Germany, it's a big topic also in Germany. Then we will go to content creation with AI, again, like how to approach it, how to also end-to-end, starting from defining the ICP with AI, like ideal customer persona, to creating a copy, for example, a blog copy, to creating visuals or videos for it, to content distribution, like how, for example, out of one blog copy, make a LinkedIn post and an Instagram post and something else, and an email campaign or a newsletter. So we will be covering all of these use cases. Then we would go to lead generation with AI. So how to get those lead lists, how to choose or pre-qualify, let's say, leads with AI, with the help of AI. There are tools like Play, you probably heard of it, where you can upload all of those different, like 10,000 records, and then predefine criteria with AI, what are exactly your also ideal customer are, for example, starting from how much revenue the business should be making to what tech stack they should have. So at the end, from a huge lead list that you were supposed to write to do cold outreach, you can have only like 100 people who are like super qualified to do business with you, and only reach out to them with a very personalized message. So this is what we would cover in this lead gen part. Then also sales ops, sales operations. This are all about enrichment and nurturing, and also voice agents to pre-qualify leads and book appointments. And then we would go to customer onboarding first. So there are many use cases. I'm working on one right now where also customer onboarding takes a lot of time, because once new customer signs, some businesses have to create all those different systems, create invoices, create folders, invite them to channels and follow-ups, a lot of steps, which could be also easily automated with AI. And then we would go to like personal productivity acceleration, where we will show how to use Google Workspace or Google Workspace with AI to accelerate productivity, or how to create personal assistants with AI for calendar, email management. So this is like a very holistic program for SMEs that we target SMEs who are mostly B2B and service-based businesses with this. And so this is something that we're working on right now very diligently. And from our experience, it's really like for businesses that we worked with, it's a huge transformation once they implement those into their business.
Absolutely. That's a huge transformation. That's really big. And it's also a big chance for the companies to become faster and more efficient.
Yeah.
Guys, you will find the link to her masterclasses here down at the bottom. And also, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel that you get regularly updated about any news from here. Valeriya, what do you think about the fully pre-made automations which are available on the market? Can you use them and are they good?
What I feel, of course, every process is different. And that's why I'm telling those plug and play agent templates not always work. They give you a great idea of what's possible, but every business process is different. And customer onboarding, they look different for one business as for another one. But what I see many businesses are struggle with, especially when they start with AI, they struggle even to identify the use cases. Where can even AI help? Because they don't know the capabilities. They don't know exactly what's possible. And then they need these impulses. They need somebody coming from outside and telling, hey, yeah, this is like, how much time do you spend on it weekly? And they would be like 5 hours. And then, yeah, no, it can be automated. Let's do it. And they would be like, oh, really? And they don't have even the idea that it can be automated. Of course, every business use a bit different systems. And again, every customer onboarding is different, but already having this understanding, okay, I can apply it now to my business and I know how to apply it. Like I know how to go to make.com or whatever and connect these dots and maybe paste this prompt in between to create an email, personalized email. So already this understanding and seeing the use case in real life helps a lot.
Valeriya, there are many usable plugins or blueprints you can use, which are on the market. But I think every business is different. Every branch is different. So I think it is important to adapt them to the business, that it has to come from the business, what they want to achieve and where they want to go. Do you think it is useful to make it from scratch? Or can you use the blueprints?
There is not just one answer, yes or no. So it depends, I would say. I think those blueprints are great if you already know how to use those tools and how to fix your processes. So then they're great. But if you hope that many people, or you see also on LinkedIn, those of lead generation posts, comment under my post and I will share with you the template, or just like more hype posts to get more engagement. If business never done, if you never created anything with NA10 or with Relevance AI, this agent blueprint will not help you because first of all, you will be able to import it and connect your programs, but you won't be able, as you mentioned, to adjust it to your business. Because see, it's like there is a certain logic when you build an agent and you follow a certain logic. For example, you try to build an agent for, let's say, for a blog post writing, right? Or the agent that, let's say, a team of agents who does the blog post, and then the other one who would repurpose it to fit different other platforms. And then you build it from your perspective and from perspective of your business, from your personal goals, how you do it typically, again, with the context of your business in mind and so on, with the processes in mind. Then if somebody else uploads this or imports this template and tries to use it, it's very important that the person understands like how to adapt it to their own business. And sometimes when you start trying to adapt it, the template would break, or this team of agents will break because it suddenly like stops working, all the connections and so on. Or sometimes it happens that you have different tool stack than the ones in the agent template or in the automation template. And then again, it doesn't work because different tools work a bit differently. So I would say, it does work or it does help, but with the proper training. So this is also something that we do in our program. So first we teach how to approach the automation or how to approach creating an agent for specific use cases like sales and lead gen and customer onboarding. And then we give you a template for you to plug and play and connect your tools because you already have an understanding how to approach how to approach again, creating those. And how to think about your processes first before creating those. So in this case, it is useful. But of course, if you just hope to hope you can download it and it will overnight change your business. It will not happen because it's unrealistic, of course.
Oh, yes, fully agree. And yeah, it's still a people's business and it has to be adapted on the business. That's really very important. But I think it is better for the people to visit the masterclass, what you offer, that the people gain all the knowledge, what you share. That's really fantastic. And
Thank you.
Valeriya, what is there a hint, a tip, what you have for my friends, for our viewers, what you say, hey, you have to do that to be on track with AI?
Only one tip. I have many. Too many. I would say,
Then please share many.
okay, I will do. I would say, again, like already everybody started doing something like ChatGPT or here and there. And I would say just it's hard to recommend to someone try to change their mindset. But this is what is needed with AI. See, that's why I'm saying this one day, if I'm given a 1 day training, I know it's not going to be life-changing training for people if they don't do follow-ups, if there are no, let's say, further like sort of trainings or clinics or something like this implemented from the organization to support this life, what they learn. Because AI, it's not about just knowing how to use the tool. It's about the mindset shift. So it's not about, okay, now I'm using ChatGPT, but rather about even before you start doing something, trying to think, can I use AI to do it for me? Can I do this automation that does this process for me that I've been doing manually for the past 10 years? The very the simple and even complex ones. But of course, we're talking about automating something that you don't enjoy doing. So this is really a mindset shift. And it's not enough to just watch one course and then know how to use, and it's not enough to know how to use the tool. It's rather thinking about, okay, again, before even doing something, can AI help me? Can AI facilitate? Can it even replace the whole me part in this specific process that I don't like doing or in this action? So that would be my tip, just starting to experiment with tools and don't stop. Just again, try to think about it all the time. Like, okay, can it really be amplified with AI, let's say.
Oh, yes. We just have to use it to experiment with it and to see where is the advantage if we use it and where it doesn't have any advantages, then we use the old way until AI will become better. Valeriya, it was really fantastic with you. We should extend it to 12 hours, the conversation. It's really great. Thanks for your insights, and I wish you all the best for the next masterclass, what you have. And please, people, don't forget to follow Valeriya and also the channel that you get updated. It was really a pleasure having you here. Thank you, Valeriya.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you. I really enjoyed it.